There be the chest, inside be the gold, and we spent 'em all. We spent 'em and traded 'em and frittered them away on drink and food and pleasurable company. But the more we spent, the more we came to realize the drink would not satisfy. The food turned to ash in our mouths, and all the pleasurable company in the world could not slake our lust. We are cursed men, Miss Turner. Compelled by greed we were, but now we are consumed by it. There is a way to end the curse. All the pieces of the Aztec gold must be restored, and the final blood repaid. And thanks to ye, we have the final piece.
As I live and breathe, Wolverine. And he's a junkie now. You know you got some buckshot in your door? I heard you was in Phoenix, but then some friends of mine in Texas HP called, said they found 3 dead cholos on a pullout at 54. Not unusual, I know, but one was missing a hand, another one a leg. So they was thinking it was either an escaped tiger or Freddy Krueger. But not one of them could drive, one being fictional, the other one extinct. And since the wheel lugs they found belonged to a 20-fold Chrysler, well, this is a 20-fold Chrysler. She found you yet, Gabriella? You see, I'm not looking for you, Wolvie. I'm really looking for someone who's looking for you. She took something of mine when I wasn't looking. Something for which I'm responsible. Mexican lady. Has her sights on you now. Doesn't ring any bells?
I love you. Oh my god. Oh god, that just came flying out of my face. It was some kind of I love you. Did it again. I mean, I do love you. And I have been trying not to say it. I have been trying so hard to just mash it down and ignore it and not say it. And Jackson is a great guy. He is. I mean, he's gorgeous and he's younger than you and he doesn't have any grandchildren or babies with his lesbian BFFs and he's an Avery. And he liked me. You know, he really liked me. But it was never gonna work out because I love you. I am so in love with you. You're in me. You know, it's like you're a disease and I am infected by Mark Sloan and I just can't think about anything or anybody. And I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't breathe. And I love you all the time. It is every minute of every day. God, I love you. It feels so good just to say that. I feel so much better now.
A moth walks into a podiatrist's office, and the podiatrist says, "What seems to be the problem, moth?" And the moth says, "What's the problem? Where do I begin, man? I go to work for Gregory Olinovich, and all day long I work. Honestly, Doc, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't even know if Gregory Olinovich knows. All he knows is that he has power over me, and that seems to bring him happiness. But I don't know. Sometimes I wake up at night, and I turn to some old lady that's in my bed on my arm. A lady I once loved, Doc. I don't know where to turn to. My youngest, Alexandria, she fell in the cold of last year, as did many of us. And my other boy, And this is the hardest pill to swallow, Doc. My other boy, Gregaro. I no longer love him anymore. As much as it pains me to say, when I look in his eyes, all I see is the same cowardice I catch when I take a look at my own face in the mirror. Doc, sometimes I feel like a spider, even though I'm a moth, just barely hanging on to my web with an everlasting flame beneath me. I'm not feeling too good. And the doctor says, "Wow, moth, man, you're troubled. You should be seeing a psychiatrist. Why on earth did you come here?" And the moth says, "'Cause the light was on."
What do you want, huh? You want a story? Okay. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young girl whose stepmother always made her stand with a baby. That baby was a spoiled child, and he wanted everything for himself. And the young girl was practically a slave. But when no one knew that the king of the goblins had fallen in love with the girl, and he'd given her certain powers. So one night, when the baby had been particularly cruel to her, she called on the goblins for help. "Say your right words," the goblin said, "and we'll take the baby to the goblin city, and you will be free." But the girl knew the king of the goblins would keep the baby in his castle forever and ever and ever, and turn him into a goblin. So she suffered in silence until one night, when she was tired from a day of housework, and she was hurt by the harsh words of her stepmother. She could no longer stand it. Oh, I wish I did know what to say to make the goblins take you away. I wish the goblins would take you away. Right now.
The real world? The real fucking world. Okay. First of all, you write a screenplay without conflict or crisis, you will bore your audience to tears. Secondly, nothing happens in the world? Are you out of your fucking mind? People are murdered every day. There's genocide, war, corruption every fucking day. Someone in the world, somewhere, sacrifices his life to save someone else. Every fucking day, someone, somewhere, takes a conscious decision to destroy someone else. People find love. People lose it. For Christ's sake, a child watches a mother beaten to death on the steps of a church. Someone goes hungry. Someone else betrays his best friend for a woman. If you can't find that stuff in life, then you, my friend, don't know crap about life. And why the fuck are you wasting my 2 precious hours with your movie? I don't have any use for it. I don't have any bloody use for it.
I saw you sitting over here by yourself. I thought, thank God, someone normal who doesn't know how to interact with these things either. I can't tell you how happy I am to hear you say that. I mean, I don't mean I'm happy or uncomfortable, but, you know, I'm such a loser. Every time I come to a party, I tell myself I'm going to be different, I'm always exactly the same, and then I hate myself afterwards for being such a clod, but I don't know. Maybe we're the normal ones, you know? I mean, what kind of people do all this stuff anyway? Well, I'm Clementine. Can I borrow a piece of your chicken? Hi, Joel. So, no jokes about my name? Yeah, like that. You should try Xanax. I mean, it's a chemical and all, but it works, and it works just having it around, knowing it's there. Like insurance. I'll give you a couple, see what you think. Have you ever read any Anna Akhmatova? Really? Me too! I don't meet people who even know who she is, and I work in a bookstore. There's this poem. Do you know her poem that starts, "Seaside gusts of wind in a house in which we don't live"? Yes. Oh, I love that poem. It breaks my heart. I'm so excited you know it. Look, houses in which we don't live. I wish we did. You married? Let's move into this neighborhood.
You're a librarian, Mr. Wordsworth. You're a dealer in books and 2-cent fines and pamphlets and closed stacks in the musty insides of a language factory that spews out meaningless words on an assembly line. Words, Mr. Wordsworth, that have no substance, no dimension, like the air, like wind, like a vacuum that you make believe has an existence by scribbling index numbers on little cards. Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth, delusions that you inject into your veins with printer's ink. The narcotics you call literature, the Bible, poetry, essays, all of it, all kinds of it, an opiate to make you think you have strength when really you have no strength at all. You are nothing but spindly limbs in a dream, and the state has no use for your kind. You waste our time, Mr. Wordsworth, and the state has no use for your kind. Instruct him.
You're a wonderful dancer. I mean, you never go to dances. Where'd you learn to dance like that? You're just amazing. My dad helps me with so much. He's a great guy. They tend to be quiet letter carriers. They think a lot. I don't think people generally realize that. You know, walk and think and walk. Oh my gosh, I just knew it. I knew Dixie cups were a mistake. Miss Boydard said she didn't think they were going to be a problem, and I said, oh, yes, it will. You just wait. That woman just doesn't listen. Sorry. I shouldn't criticize. It's like Thumper's dad always used to say, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. You know, in Bambi, the movie, well, it was my favorite movie when I was a kid. You remember it? If you want to go, Davis, you can. I'll understand. You've been a kind person and you always have been, but I'll understand. My dad was so nervous about tonight. You'd think that he was the one that was going on to a dance. And a little proud, I think, you know, but mostly just nervous. He felt better when he met you, I could tell. Oh, did he give you the old 3rd degree while I was upstairs? My dad reminds me a lot more of Thumper's dad than Bambi's dad. Of course, Bambi's dad is a great big stag and the king of the forest, and my dad is more like an old rabbit. Bambi's mom died just around the same time mine did. Of course, that's around the time the movie came out, right around the time my mom died. And we both missed our moms terribly. Think of all the things that I should have said to her but didn't. But I guess that's why you mourn. And then you go on. Like Bambi did.
Are you fucking kidding me? No, Mom. Motherfucking Paris? I told you about Paris, Lillian. I told you about this whole idea. What, are you gonna go to Paris with Helen now? You guys gonna ride around on bikes with berets and fucking baguettes in the front of the basket of your bikes? What kind of woman takes another woman on a trip to Paris? Am I right? Lesbian! We're all thinking it, aren't we? Okay, yeah, we're all thinking it, right? Lillian, this is not the you that I know. The you that I know would have walked in here and rolled your eyes and thought this was completely over the top, ridiculous, and stupid. Look at this shower. Look at that fucking cookie. Did you really think that this group of women was going to finish that cookie? Oh, yeah, you know what? That reminds me, actually. I never got a chance to try that fucking cookie. You know, when I was a child, I'd come home after school to an empty house. My father had flown the coop. My mother worked as a maid in a hotel. It was lonely. And so one day I brought in a squirrel I'd found and kept him in a shoebox. And then one day I'd come home and he looked sickly. He was dead already, but I didn't know that. I'd forgotten to feed him for a couple of days. So I took him out of the box and I laid him on the table. And I prayed my heart out for several hours. And when my mother came home and saw her, she screamed bloody murder and picked him up and threw him in the garbage. She worked hard, my mother. She was exhausted and she couldn't have known how cruel that was. But I cried and cried, saying, God didn't answer my prayers. I remember my mother was pouring herself a whiskey, the Martin family cure for anything. And she looked at me and laughed and said, God always answers our prayers, Judy. It's just rarely the answers we're looking for. It's over for me, Frank. My goose is cooked.
Incredible. One of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second. How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this? This is my 9th sick day this semester. It's getting pretty tough coming up with new illnesses. If I go for 10, I'm probably gonna have to barf up a lung, so I better make this one count. The key to faking out the parents is the clammy hands. It's a good non-specific symptom. I'm a big believer in it. A lot of people will tell you that a good phony fever is a deadlock, but you get a nervous mother, you can wind up in the doctor's office. That's worse than school. You fake a stomach cramp, and when you're bent over, moaning and wailing, you lick your palms. It's a little childish and stupid, but then, so is high school. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. I do have a test today. That wasn't bullshit. It's on European socialism. But I mean, really, what's the point? I'm not European, I don't plan on being European, so who gives a crap if they're socialists? They could be fascist anarchists, it wouldn't change the fact that I don't own a car. Not that I condone fascism, or any ism for that matter. Isms, in my opinion, are not good. A person should not believe in an ism, he should believe in himself. I quote John Lennon, I don't believe in Beatles, I just believe in me. A good point there. After all, he was the walrus. I could be the walrus. I'd still have to bum rides off people.
I want to talk to you about life. It's just too difficult to function, isn't it? I mean, there are all these people you have to deal with. I tried to buy a can of tuna fish at the supermarket, and there was this person standing right in front of where I wanted to reach out and get the tuna fish. And I waited a while to see if they'd move, and they didn't. They were reading the cans, too. They were reading the ingredients on each can like it was a book. A pretty boring book, if you ask me, but nobody has. So I waited a longer while to see if they'd move, and they didn't, and I still could not reach the tuna fish. And I thought about asking them, but I thought it would do no good at all, and they seemed so stupid not to understand. So I thought that they would ask me, they would say to me, "Well, move when we're goddamn ready, you goddamn nagging bitch." So then I started to cry out of frustration. Quietly though. and I was softly sobbing not to disturb anyone. And this stupid person still did not grasp the fact that I needed to get to the tuna fish. So I reached over with my fist and pulled it down right hard on his head, and I said, "Would you kindly move, asshole?"
I look at you, and I don't see an intelligent, confident man. I see a cocky, scared, shitless kid. But you're a genius, Will. No one denies that. No one could possibly understand the depths of you. But you presume to know everything about me because you saw a painting of mine, and you tore my fucking life apart. You're an orphan, right? Do you think I know the first thing about how hard your life has been, who you are, how you feel, because I read Oliver Twist? Does that encapsulate you? Personally, I don't give a shit about all that. Because you know what? I can't learn anything from you I can't read in some fucking book. Unless you want to talk about you, who you are. I'm fascinated, I'm in. But you don't want to do that, do you, sport? You're terrified of what you might say. Your move, Chief.
You're all so pathetic. Don't you see how futile your actions are? I created AB-14. I did. I linked every bone, connected every muscle, her eyes, her hands, her hair. It's all mine. And you honestly think, you honestly believe that you have any right to take her from me? To add her to your pathetic little family and call her yours? No. That's not how this is going to work. Do you want to know how the story ends? Do you? Well, you'll find some way to leave here in one piece. You'll hop into your sad little getaway car and drive as many miles from here as possible. You'll seek refuge with Callie's family in, where was it? California? 19 Kingwood Road, correct? Or were you planning on staying at James's summer home in Maine? Anywho, you'll find somewhere to go. Then, you'll live in peace for some time. You'll go to the movies, breakfast, and all that sappy nonsense. James will come to have fallen in love with her. Callie and Adrian will see her as a sister. How cute. But, regardless, her synthetic cells will eventually begin to deteriorate. Want to know why? Because she is not human. She is a synthetic, artificial being, and without constant upkeep, she will shut down. The awesome power of your love will not be able to save her. Because, I hate to break it to you, this is not a fucking Disney movie.
I'm very angry. I'm angry that Bobby Newport would hold this town hostage and threaten to leave if you don't give him what he wants. It's despicable. Corporations are not allowed to dictate what a city needs. That power belongs to the people. Bobby Newport and his daddy would like you to think it belongs to them. I love this town, and when you love something, you don't threaten it. You don't punish it. You fight for it. You take care of it. You put it first. As your city councilor, I will make sure no one takes advantage of Pawnee. If I seem too passionate, it's because I care. If I come on strong, it's because I feel strongly. And if I push too hard, it's because things are not moving fast enough. This is my home. You are my family. And I promise you, I'm not going anywhere.
I went to this acting class, and my teacher was this weird, creepy bald guy with tight pants, and he couldn't even get my name right, not even once. I mean, my name is Angelique. Not Angelica, not Angie, Angelique. It's French for like an angel, or born from an angel, or touched by an angel. I mean, whatever. It doesn't even matter. He couldn't even get my name right once. He taught us these weird, creepy breathing exercises, and the whole time I could just think of was, my mother is not paying for you to teach me how to breathe, weird, creepy bald guy. She is paying for you to teach me how to act, because that's what I'm good at, acting.
Like, I'm really good at swimming and I paint too. And me and my sister also made state jazz ensemble. But what I'm really good at is acting. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Embrace your inner animal. Embrace your inner animal. Are you kidding me? Is this guy joking? So when I went home, I Googled the guy. I mean, I had to. I had to know what made this guy so special that he was going to teach me how to act. Do you want to know what this guy's done? He was in 3 episodes of Ghost Hunters Deluxe and a deodorant commercial. Deodorant? Are you kidding me? What's this guy gonna do? Teach me how to sweat? And see.
Random thoughts for Valentine's Day 2004. The day's a holiday invented by greeting card companies to make people feel like crap. I ditched work today. Took a train out to Montauk. I don't know why. I'm not an impulsive person. I guess I just woke up in a funk this morning. I have to get my car fixed. Hey, Sydney, it's Joel. Listen, I don't feel very well today. No, it's food poisoning, I think. Oh, it's goddamn freezing on this beach. Montauk in February? Brilliant, Joel. Their page is ripped out. I don't remember doing that. Looks like this is my first entry in 2 years? Sand is overrated. It's just tiny little rocks. If only I could find someone new. Guess my chances of that are somewhat diminished, seeing as I'm incapable of making eye contact with a woman that I don't know. Maybe I should get back together with Naomi. She was nice. Nice is good. She loved me. Why do I fall in love with every woman who shows me the least bit of attention?
I had a dream about you last night. We were on a roof. It was dark and nighttime. Brilliant stars in the skies. A barbecue on a midsummer night. You could see all across London, all the places we've lived, the river, and how the water glittered in the dark. I wasn't really talking to you at first, but you came over to me and started talking. In a black dress. You were laughing instantly about something or whatever, so I started laughing, humoring you. Then I saw it. This thing in your breast, like a brooch over your heart. A cluster. As I got closer, I could see it. It was a nest of maggots. As we joked and laughed, the maggots grew and hatched more maggots. That's when I thought of Richie. And that's when I knew it was over. I will never be in love with you again. We walked away from each other quite calmly. You never even realized you had this thing clinging on to you. Nobody would. Only I would. And that's when I realized it wasn't maggots at all. It was rice and pudding. That's why you've been laughing. You got rice and pudding going down your dress. Then I went to kiss you, but I woke up. What do you think it means?